there, welcome to week 2 of You and Me and a Cup of Tea. And this week, my cup of tea is my House Pride cup. Can you see that? That's beautiful, isn't it? And look, my little badger handle. Anyway, so as you could tell, I am a Hufflepuff, and I am super, super proud of that. In my cup today, I've got like a green tea latte that I just made with some sweetened green tea, and you can get this at Asian stores by the packet. I usually just take some powdered green tea and mix it up with granulated sugar and then pulse it a little bit in like a coffee ground or something that is going to get it really fine and processed together. So that way you can just take a teaspoon or two, mix it in with some milk, and you can either use steamed milk or cold milk. I prefer it cold. I'm not a real big fan of hot green tea, especially not the matcha, and this is the green tea powder I'm talking about. This is not the green tea leaves. The green tea powder actually gives you more antioxidants. It gives you a little bit more of a boost of caffeine, but not a whole lot. And I find that if I drink this, then that cuts down on my black tea consumption, which doesn't necessarily have as many antioxidants as the green tea. So, yummy, yummy. Today I also went ahead and pulled some cards. The moon is in Scorpio, and in a couple of hours, which Scorpio is a water sign, and in a couple of hours the moon will move into Sagittarius. So today I pulled a water card for our emotional realm and a fire card for our action realm. And the water card that I pulled was emotional support and safety. Let me see if you can see that really well. Emotional support and safety. So, emotional support and safety. If you don't feel emotionally supported and safe to be able to make those moves forward, you're not going to be able to do it. There's just going to be a lot of inner turmoil. You're going to be back and forth between I don't know and what should I do and blah, 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 blah. You're not going to be able to make a clear, focused decision or take any action steps forward because you're in such turmoil, right? So for me, emotional support and safety, as far as my goal of completing the half marathon, I had to really, really, really make sure that I am supporting myself emotionally before I open up and share these things with you. See, if I have, like I said last time, if I have anything reflected back on me, other people's experiences, other people telling me what their experiences are and how they should do it and how they think I should do it, if I'm not emotionally supporting myself, then I get very easily bowled over. Emotional support and safety is super, super key to you bringing your dreams and goals to life, okay? So make sure you are emotionally supporting yourself. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that in this video. And for fire, Sagittarius is a fire sign. Fire is the action realm. It's those right aligned actions that you take to move yourself closer, even if they're baby steps, moving yourself closer to your dreams, right? So fire says be a dynamic. Now for me, being dynamic is definitely coming from a place of upliftment. Dynamic, not necessarily taking these huge steps. If you watch a baby when they're first learning how to walk, you're focused on them. You're like clapping them on. Come on! I mean, you're almost holding your own self with bated breath as they start taking those little wobbly steps forward. And then you give this great big celebration when they do it. Yay! Right? So to give yourself that same dynamic focus as you are taking those baby steps, really allowing yourself to celebrate, opening up, and holding on to that feeling of, yes, I can do it, I'm doing it, I'm moving forward. I want to read you also in the little book that comes with this. I love these cards so much, as you probably tell. let me find dynamic, because I want to give you a little bit more on that. Dynamic is the fire's gift of energy in motion. Watch even a small flame, and it is constantly moving in a dynamic state. With constant motion, however, we burn out. Fire teaches you to balance your active self with rest as days turn into night. To maintain a dynamic state of being, you need to allow the balanced expression of fire to work within you. Okay? So babies don't continually move. You know, there's that one foot, and then there's the other foot, and then there's the one foot, and then there's the other foot. So that's how you keep moving. And then remembering that rest, that pause in between, is what is part of that whole cycle. So remembering that, giving yourself the dynamic movement forward and allowing yourself to rest and really sinking in, rejuvenating, and allowing yourself to refuel during those resting spots is really going to make a difference in how you are able to move forward. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what you can do to give yourself emotional support and safety as you are making these dynamic movement forward. So some of the tools that I like to use, well, the one that I want you to consider is your journal. Now, I keep 3 separate journals, and I want to share with you the 3, just a basic overview. And if you're interested, leave a comment below and I will do a more detailed video on what each journal is. Okay, so this one here is my creation journal, and in this you can see I've got my little stencil. I decorated a page or 2. I've got my little stencil that tells me all the stuff, and I've got stuff flying out of it because I use magazine cuttings to represent, different things that help me to stay uplifted and feel uplifted as I'm moving towards my goals. I've got my stencil with the different elements on it, and also with the zodiac symbols. And every new moon and full moon, I come in here and write it down. And this year I've actually started writing more. So you can see I've got a mandala in here that I wrote. I'm participating in Andrea Schroeder's Creative Dream Circle to help keep me in alignment with my dreams. I'm participating in a lot, but that's the one that I go to and get these beautiful mandalas to color. What if you're stronger than you think? You're bigger than your fear. All of these things, I've got a few that I need to color. You are loved, breathe it in. What if you're right where you need to be? And these are just kind of act as reminders of me staying on target to reach my goals, right? And then I write my letters in here, and I also make sure that I put in all of the things that I've already seen manifest. So, for example, somebody on my Facebook feed said that they had completed their 4th half marathon. And so I use that kind of as a sign from the universe that yes, I'm on the right track in completing my first half marathon. Because if it could happen to her, surely it can happen to me. Why couldn't it happen to me? So coming from that energy of why couldn't it happen to me? And I've got some other goals that I'm working on as well. So I put evidences of me moving towards those goals as well. I keep all of those in here. So that way on those days that I feel afraid, that I don't feel necessarily supported by the outside world, I have a place where I absolutely have that support, and I have evidences that I am actually doing what I need to do. Then I have my moleskin. This is just a plain old moleskin that you can get anywhere. This is what I use to take notes in any of the various classes that I take online, if I do any kind of workshops. And this is also where I process. So I don't put anything. If I'm going through something and I want to just clear it out of my system, I do not put that in my creation journal. That goes in here or in another moleskin. And then I have a planner. and that's my planner. And this year I'm working with the Isis Oracle deck, and I'm doing that as a monthly reading rather than a bi-monthly with new moons and full moons. New moons and full moons, I always use my Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle, but this Isis Oracle, because I am a dedicated priestess of Isis, I really connected with this particular deck, and I use this as kind of my spirit connection, and just as an additional piece, an additional layer to exactly what it is that I'm focusing on for that month as far as my own spiritual development that'll help me reach my goals, okay? So there's a lot of inner work that goes on in the process of bringing forth those goals, because you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for it. You're not going to get your goals or your dreams met if you're not ready for it. If somewhere in the internal realm you're saying, I don't deserve this, or I've never gotten it before, why should I get it now? Or I've always been not enough, or any of these other rocks and bricks and things that are dirt clods, really, that just keep us bound where we're at. So this is a good thing. I'm not always carrying this with me, so this is, yes, a planner. It's also my journal. So I keep my schedule in here, definitely. But then I also will do doodles or put stickers, anything that's going to keep my energy uplifted. That's the whole thing. I'm trying to find ways to keep my energy uplifted so that I can stay in the vibrational frequency of my dreams and goals. So, how did I do last week? I told you I was going to start training last week. Well, as soon as I pushed send on that video, we got this huge little cold front, and then it was raining and wet and yucky. I told you I did have a plan, and I did. I got on my little treadmill, and I only could last for 10 minutes on that thing. And it's a little like, it's an elliptical thing. I only lasted 10 minutes. So that is not going to be a viable solution as for the long term. I can see using that regularly if I am doing, I'm losing the words here because I'm trying to hurry up. If I'm doing strength training, or if I'm doing intervals, I can see using that. But as far as doing a full mile worth of steps, or 2,000 steps, it does have a step counter. So I did a little bit less than 2,000 steps. It was like 1,002 or something. I mean, it was a crazy low number. So not going to be a viable solution. Because my husband was getting ready to go out of town, and we had a lot of running around to do before he went out of town, I wasn't able to get to my walking spaces, my indoor walking spaces. So I'm going to have to work on that and come up with a more viable solution. The other alternative is for me to make sure that I get some better winter gear. So that way, when it gets cold, I'll have an option. Now, hopefully, we're almost into March, and I'm hoping that the last little bit of cold snap has gone, so that should not be a problem going forward. But I do want to make sure that I'm keeping mindful of that, because ultimately after this half marathon, I want to do another and another and another and another, or maybe even grow to something bigger than that. So, all right, so that's where I am. That's where I'm leaving you for today. I will see you next week and give you a check-in on my goals and give you the opportunity to have a check-in. If there's anything that you would like to know, any questions that you have on how to apply nature's principles to your goals and dreams, please leave a comment underneath in the comments below and let me know what else I can do to support you. Oh, I've got a class coming up that I would love for you to be able to attend, and I've got a video for that, so I'll leave a linky-doo in the bottom, and I will see you next week. Bye.